Hi friends, it's Carolyn Zook here with C Zook Stitch. Today is Saturday, April 25th, 2020. Today's the 25th, which means it was something like 53 years ago today that my parents met each other. They always kind of acknowledged the date that they met. So this date has stood out to me for a long time now. They were married 50 years this past September. So I think maybe 54 years that they've known each other. Anyway, welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch, and we've had a lot of new subscribers lately, so this week in particular. So welcome if you're new. I hope you'll stick around for a while, and welcome back if you're an oldie but goldie. So last week, if you didn't see, there was no video on this channel, but that's because the Sunshine Stitchers very kindly invited me as their guest on their channel. So I will link that down below so that you can check it out in case you missed it. It was so much fun, and a huge thank you to them for welcoming me onto their channel, and we had a lot of fun. They're even nicer off camera than they are on camera, if that's even possible. I didn't know how that was possible, but they are so sweet, and it was so much fun, and I was so honored to be invited to their channel. So thank you so much, and I know a lot of you new subscribers are coming over from the Sunshine Stitchers, so I hope you enjoy the solo show over here. All right, let's jump into it. I have not one, but two finishes to show you. So I'm going to save that one for last. So I have my Garon bag. They have two sizes of bags. This is the bigger bag. This is the 12 by 18. I only have a couple of these. I prefer the smaller ones, just because I mostly use smaller Q-snaps. But I don't have a lot of space where I'm filming. I did not prepare this very well. This is Harbor Haven by the Bay Needle Arts. So what I was saying is, when I use the Q-snap, this is 11 by 17, it fits perfectly in their 12 by 18 inch bags. So this is scene 6 out of 12 of Harbor Haven, and it is done. She is knitting. It's kind of hard to tell what she's doing there, but she's sitting under the tree knitting. So, and there's the sun. So that is done. So I am officially halfway through Harbor Haven. 6 more scenes to go to get it done this year. I have, it's the 4th month, so I have 8 more months to get 6 scenes done. It's doable. It's very, very doable. So that will be, oh, that's wrong. Just jump into plans here. So that will be, my computer ink started running out. So number 7 is what I'll be starting to work on. And it's this fisherman. So imagine better colors, because Donna from By the Bay Needle Arts is much better at colors than that computer running out of ink looks. And that is on a 32 count Belfast linen in vintage smoky white. I love that fabric. It's very easy to work on, not a lot of slubs. It's soft, and I like that it's white, so it's very neutral, and everything stands out on it, but it also has a little bit of movement. It's just perfect for that piece. The other finish, I finished this last night, and I did not iron it yet, but let me finish this piece. So this is called Christmas Morning Goodies. It is from the 2018 Christmas Ornaments issue of Just Cross Stitch. I used everything called for, and this is by the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And again, it was in the 2018 Christmas Ornament issue of Just Cross Stitch. My white stitches aren't great. You can kind of tell some of them especially stand out. I'm just going to point them out because you're going to see them anyway. But I'm okay with that, because after, I wanted to show this first, but I am going to stitch the name of the little girl who's going to be receiving this on there, but just for privacy, I wanted to leave her name off while I showed it to you. And everything's called for. I did change the hair of the ballerina there. It called for a brown, which looked great. I actually had it stitched in and then took it all out because I wanted the hair to match the little girl that I'm giving this to. And this is on a 28 count Crystal Pansy Lugana by Picture This Plus. It's all called for. And you can see, I mean, it's a big piece. And I did leave a 3-inch border up here. I kind of wish I had done it this direction so I would have, you know, a good chunk left to stitch something else on it. But maybe I can probably still fit another small piece there. So those are 2 finishes, which I'm really happy about and I'm really excited about. And then the other thing I worked on this week was my temperature tree by Stitching Mommy. Cat hair everywhere. Goes this way. So this is the April branch, and I just filled in some colors. I messed up somewhere. It might be the April branch, it might be the March branch. I'm gonna have to take a look. I might take it out. I don't know. I'm so close to being done. And if you can't really tell, maybe I'll just leave it. But something's definitely wrong over here. So I'm going to have to fix that somehow. Maybe extend the branch. I don't know where I got off. And it kind of impacts everything else, right? The leaves don't fit exactly right. So I've been kind of avoiding this one because I just don't want to figure it out. So I think I am going to take it out here, at least this part, and figure something out on how to make that work a little bit better. But overall, this is a fun piece. You can tell that we've definitely warmed up here. We're definitely into spring from all the greens. I think our highest temperature so far has been 75 or 76. Again, that's by Stitching Mommy. I work on that generally on Sundays. So that's what I have in terms of projects that I'm working on. And then haul. I have a bunch of haul. I've been shopping a lot. Partly getting ready for Maynia. Partly just stuff has come in that I ordered a while ago. Partly quarantine shopping. So I got these scissors by Lila May Design Studios. I recently joined her Facebook group and she has the cutest stuff. So I picked these up. They were inexpensive and I really only have 1 pair of scissors, so it'll be fun to have a second pair, and there's little pineapples on that. So I'm excited about that. And then I saw, okay, so 2 things. Last week, Gary on Sunshine Stitchers showed his Halloween Cove by the Bay Needle Arts, which I loved. I hadn't seen it before, so I did pick it up. I'm not sure when I'll be starting it, but I really, really like it. I'm not much of a Halloween stitcher, but there are a few pieces that I really, really like that I want to do, and this is one of them. How big is it? 77 by 149. That's not terrible. So I'm excited to have that, but I also saw this on her site, and I fell in love, and I just needed to have it. This is called Think Spring, and it's also by the Bay. I just love that so much. This is 58 by 90. I love it. I think it's so pretty with all the colors. So I'm excited to start on that at some point. I don't really have plans on when I'm going to start that. But that's by the Bay, Needle Arts, Donna Bayless. Very fast shipping. I ordered it and I think I had them in my mailbox 2 days later. All right. The other thing that came in was back in mid-March, I placed an order, a market order from my LNS, Acorns and Threads. And some things were out of stock or needed to be reprinted, and so they just saved everything for 1 package, and I got that. So first up, I got these 6 giant rings to hold floss on. They're quite heavy. Good quality rings. So I got those. And then I got my market order. So these are all market pieces that I had to have. And since then, I think I've found a couple more that I'm going to be ordering as well. So first up is this tiny modernist folk art sampler. I just think it's really pretty. That is 99 by 104. I got this called Sewn in Friendship by Heartstring Samplery. It's a little pillow that says a token for my friend. That's very pretty. I got Spring Has Sprung by Plum Street Samplers. I love the soft colors in that and the finishing. And I really like how they incorporated winter, because you know that weird time. Like, I know people are getting snow still, you know, this past week, so it's very appropriate. I got this Teresa Kogut Bunny and Bee. Thought that was super sweet. Into the bunnies lately. Then I got this from the Blackberry Rabbit. It's called The Visitor. I just thought that was beautiful. This is 140 by 108. Just thought that was really pretty. I haven't seen anybody really talk about this piece or work on it. And then I got Kringles by Little House Needleworks. And I just really love that. And I also got the floss pack. So I think this pack includes all the floss. There are a few DMC that are not included in here, so I'll just kit up the DMC and get the fabric and we'll be all set. I saw somebody already finish this. I saw online last night, and somebody else was very near finished, and it looks amazing, just amazing. So that was my market order. So I'm really happy to have those charts and excited to start them. I did get a Garon t-shirt. They sell these on their Facebook page, and I'll link it below. I asked them to sign it, and they did. So this will be great to wear around. I'm excited about that. And then, is that it? Yeah, I think that's it. I do have some fabric coming in. I have orders coming in from 123 Stitch, some from Be Stitch Me, and a couple other places. So I'll keep you posted on that. No worries. So plans. This is going really quickly. Let me get a drink. This is my mug. It's giant, and it says "You're Magic," and I love it. Okay, so we are a third of the way into 24 Hours of Cross Stitch, which is a concept developed by Jen Lee and her mother Cindy, where you try to do 24 hours of cross stitch in a weekend. It originally started with them just trying to do it 24 hours in a row, and it's evolved. I did my first attempt in January. I got 18 hours in, and they count the weekend as starting on Friday, so Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you really get 3 days, which is really helpful for me because I am on what is called #Team Sleep, which means I'm not going for 24 hours straight in a row. I'm going to sleep in between, and I have some other things I need to get done in between. I teach an online class, so I have a lot of prep to do for that as well as my regular day job. I don't know what that's about, but so my goal, I didn't really plan it in January very well. I just said I'm going to stitch as much as I can, and I ended up doing 18 hours, which I was really happy with. And that one, the entire time I worked on Harbor Haven number 5, and I got it all done. Is that 5? Yeah, it would have been 5. So I was happy with that progress. This time, I've planned a little bit better, and I said, okay, I'm going to try to do 8 hours each day, and that'll be 24 hours. So yesterday, that's how I finished the stocking, the Christmas morning goodies. I finished that. That took me a total 18 hours to do, which feels like a lot for a little ornament. Now, granted, an hour of that was stitching. I was stitching during a meeting because our meetings are online now, but you can, mute your video so you're not shown on there. And so I was stitching during that, and then I realized that I had messed up way at the beginning of that stitching session, and I had to frog out everything that I did during that meeting. So I got the stitching and the frogging all done during the meeting. So basically I lost an hour, and I was right back where I was. So in reality, maybe it was more like 17 hours, but it was still a lot. a lot longer than I thought an ornament would take me. Maybe I'm just really slow. I don't know. But so last night. I finished Christmas morning goodies at a total of 7 hours and 45 minutes of stitching for the day. I was not going to pull out another project and work on it for 15 minutes. So I am, I'll just make up the time today or tomorrow. Today, so for 24 hours of cross stitch, I wanted to do 3 days of 8 hours and 3 rotations. So yesterday was Christmas morning goodies. That's done. That's great. That frees up some time for the coming months. Today I want to work on Cross Stitch Nation by Heartstring Samplery, because I do want to kind of push this for a finish as well. And so this is where I'm at right now. I have 2 more people that go at the end. And then I have to extend this border a little bit, and the top will read, I belong to the Cross Stitch Nation. And then there's a border along the bottom. I am going to run out of I think it's DMC 221, that red color. So I have it on order to come in, but I won't have enough to finish the piece. So I don't think I'll finish it this weekend at all, but my goal is 8 hours. And so my goal is going to be to finish the other 2 people. And that should take me maybe about 8 hours. So that'll be my goal. And then I just have to work on the top border, and then I'll kind of focus on finishing that piece because it'll be so close to being done. So that's that. And then for Sunday, my goal is to start working on Harbor Haven number 7, which I showed you earlier, the fisherman, to get a head start. Technically, I don't have to do Harbor Haven number 7 until May, but why not get a head start on it? So that's my plan for 24 hours of cross stitch. And then the coming week, I'm going to work a little on Temperature Tree, figure out how to fix that branch that I miscounted, and then probably continue working on Harbor Haven. Because in May, I am doing Maynia. I talked about this a little bit last week on Sunshine Stitchers. I have decided I'm going to start 5 big, they're all big, 5 big pieces, so 1 each week. And originally I thought I would start it on Sundays. But then EJ asked me, oh, are you doing it on Fridays? And I said, no. But then I thought about it and I said, no, that's really smart. Because then I can work on it throughout the weekend, and then during the week go back to working on Harbor Haven or Cross Stitch Nation or whatever I'm trying to finish up. So I think, and I showed these last week on their channel, but I'm going to start. So I'm still waiting on the fabric to come in, which should be here Monday, I think. And I'm still waiting for a bunch of the floss to come in, which also should be here on Monday, I'm hoping. Spring at Hawk Run Hollow, I'm going to start first. This one, I've decided, kind of somewhat arbitrarily, that I want to finish this by next May or June. I'm going to aim to do 1 block a month. And if you look at these blocks, I mean, there is a lot of stitching in some of them, for sure, but they're not all. Some of her blocks are very full coverage. So Autumn is another one I'm going to start. But see, you have those houses, that's just solid stitching. And this one, that's almost full coverage. So some of these blocks are going to take a lot longer on here. And I feel like this one doesn't have, I mean, there are a couple, like that one's a lot. But a lot of them aren't as much stitching, right? They're not, and maybe I'm miscalculating greatly. But my goal for May will be to finish this top border up here, which should be very doable, I think. And it says Hawk Run Hollow. I'm going to leave that off. I'm not sure what I'm going to put there. I'm going to just leave that blank for now. I might put like my last name in the year I finish it. So it would say Zook 2021 or something like that. So my goal for May is to just finish this very top border. And then June, I'll work on block 1, block 2, and so forth. So we'll see how that plan goes. I'm very much a seasonal stitcher, very much in-season stitcher. So I have a hard time, even though this year I plan to do Jolly July, which is stitching ornaments. I'll talk about those plans when we get a bit closer, but where you start ornaments. And hold on, I have to sneeze. So I have a hard time stitching like Christmas in July. So we'll see how this goes. It might be fine. It might be good. I mean, I did do the ornament just now, and it's end of April. So I'm doing this, starting this the first Friday in May. And then I'll work on it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then put it away. This one in particular, I'll probably pull out later in the month, but the other ones, I'll just put them away. And then, I can't remember what order I'm going to do these in, but it's somewhat arbitrary. I'm going to start autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. I am going to start Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow. Now, these are full coverage. Jessie Marie said in her last video, she's working on this too. I think she's about right here. And she said, you know, these, each block is about 100 by 100, I think. And she said, these blocks are bigger than a Haid page, which is 80 by 100. And she said, and these are also, a lot of them are very close to full coverage. So, I'm just going to do what I can on these. My goal, see, I'm already starting to plan for 2021. So right now, and this might change, my goal is to have half of each of these done by next Halloween, Halloween 2021. So that seems a little more reasonable. I'm going to start Long Dog Sampler's Death by Cross Stitch. This is probably going to be the last one I start because I ordered the fabric from 123 Stitch and it said that it's back ordered till May 24th. So we'll see. And then I'm going to start Narnia by Jan Hicks. I'm waiting on my threads to come in from... Simon would like to say hello to everyone. My threads from Victoria Motto Sampler Thread, which should be here any minute. And hopefully they will work. And I think I have fabric here that will work for that. So those are my 5 plant starts. They are all very big. I've really wanted to start all 5 of them for a very long time. And my plan, I'm sort of abandoning the Year of Whips. Sort of. Like, it's still really good goals. Christmas Morning Goodies was a great goal. And I put that on there because of Year of Whips, and now it's finished. And I have plenty of time to fully finish it into... I'll probably just do a flat ornament, not even like a stuffed ornament. So I'm excited about that. And it's really pushed me in a lot of ways. But because they associated it with Stitch from Stash, which I never intended to do, pretty much by January I was out, which is fine. It's still a good goal. I'm still going to refer to the chart I made up. But what I think I'm going to focus on the second half of the year, so starting in July, is the Whip Go that Jessie Marie is doing. So I'm going to do Whip Go for half the year. And so all of these, the way I see Whip Go for me is not to help me finish a piece, but help to move a piece along to the point where I can get it in a regular rotation where I say, okay, it's now ready to be kind of focused on for a finish. So something like Spring at Hawk Run Hollow, because I already know I want to focus on 1 block a month, I'm not putting this in my Whip Go board because I'm going to do it. Harbor Haven, I'm not putting it on my Whip Go board because those are the priorities, right? Everything else is bonus. These are going to be the priorities, especially Harbor Haven right now. And then when the new year starts, this will become a priority. But, you know, and the way I'm doing it is that I'm a time stitcher. I don't count my stitches, but I do track my time very closely. I actually have a stopwatch that I start and stop. So I'm saying I'm going to do 10 hours for this a month on my Whip Go board. So each rotation, and I'm going to put it on there twice. So that'll be a total of 20 extra hours of stitching on this year yet that I'll work in. And the same for this. 10-hour rotation seems pretty doable on top of everything else that I have going on in the month. But we'll talk about that when we get closer. Maybe in June we'll talk more about that. Okay, let's do giveaways now. So there's 2 that I'm still waiting to hear from. And I know that people are behind. I'm behind on Flosstube, so I want to give them another chance to get back to me. I've tried to look them. They aren't in our Facebook group, so I couldn't contact them. But so if I don't hear from them in this next week, I will pull another name. But first up, Pauline Johnson. I do need your address to send you this piece. Okay, so Pauline Johnson. And Christy Martin, I need your address to send you Wee Woolly. Okay. So we had some giveaways 2 weeks ago, and I think I need addresses from almost from everybody this week. So my email is always in the drop-down box. It's czukstitch@gmail.com. I am terrible with commenting on your comment that you won. So hopefully you watch this. So first up was July Sings, the sweet little piece from Bent Creek, and Teresa Vickers. You won this, so I will need your address. Next up is Wee Bee. And Sonia Dewey, you won that. I need your address. This Sweet Home by Bent Creek. Patty Smith, I do have your address, so I'll put this in the mail to you. And then we have My House, My Home by Little House Needleworks. And the winner of this is Not Just Hooked. So Not Just Hooked, I didn't have your real name, but maybe that is your real name. It's KNOT, Just Hooked. So please send me your address. And then I gave away this piece of fabric from Be Stitch Me. It was in my grab bag. And the winner of this is Dawn Duvall. And Dawn, I don't have your address. I'm not sure if I should have your address, but I don't. And I was kind of surprised that I don't. So I do need your address. Dawn is super involved and active in our Facebook group, which is just C's Hook Stitch on Facebook. And Dawn always leaves these wonderfully detailed, in-depth messages on the channel, and I always love reading them so much. So Dawn, I was surprised when I looked and I don't have your address. So if you can send me your address, I will send you a piece of fabric in the mail. Okay, so what are we giving away this time? So I swear I had a stack of patterns pulled out to give away, and I can't find them. So I pulled out some different ones for now, which you'll still like, I think. But you know, when you're just kind of, I know they're somewhere. I remember pulling out the specific stack because it was stuff that I was thinking, oh, you might be able to use this for Maynia. But anyway, so first up, I'm going to give away is this. This is another freebie that I got from World of Cross Stitching magazine. These are little cards. You don't have to use them as cards, but aren't they sweet? I really like, especially the kitties one, but I also really like the sewing machine. It says you get 12 charts inside. Oh yeah, it is like a little booklet. So you don't get, so sometimes in these charts they'll give you the Ada and the floss. You don't get any of that, so you'll have to use your own Ada and floss. But you do get 3 little charms, so a heart, a kitty, and a thread. So if you want this, say card, C-A-R-D, card. And I'll ship it anywhere. So you don't, it's not just to the US, so I'll ship this anywhere. Next up is a chart by Abby Rose Designs, and this is Summer Roses, and it says, the perfume of a summer's rose lingers in the folds of angel's wings. Very, very sweet. And if you want this, say summer. Okay. Next up, I'm going to give away my issue. I have looked through this. There's nothing I'm going to stitch out of it. It's a great issue. There's stuff I definitely hemmed and hawed, but I obviously just got my market haul in. I have plenty to stitch. So I'm going to give this away to somebody. This is the June issue of Just Cross Stitch. Lots of sweet designs, including these you see on the cover here. Very spring. There's some farm. Oh, here, I can show you what's in, what projects are in here. It is a very, very sweet one. This is a summer tree. And they said they're going to be doing an autumn tree as well. This is a little needle book that says Eat, Stitch, Sleep, Retreat, Repeat, or Retreat. So if you want to say June, say something about June. Okay. And then, last but not least, I'm going to give away this chart. It's called Hang 10 by Raise the Roof. So it's like a little beach scene. So if you want this, say something about hang. H-A-N-G. And those will be our giveaways for this week. And so I will be back next week. I'm really liking filming every week. Yeah, so as long as I can keep doing it, I'm going to keep doing it if that's okay with you. And so we will be finishing up 24 hours of cross stitch today and tomorrow, and then work on Harbor Haven this week, and then I will be back next week with, next Friday is the 1st already of May. So we will be, so I will have just started my Hawk Run Hollow, so you will get to see that. So I hope you are all doing well. I hope if you're involved in 24 hours of cross stitch, whether you're team caffeine, staying up for 24 hours in a row, or team sleep like myself, or you can just stitch as much as you can. And that's what I did in January. I didn't intend to do 24 hours. It pushed me to do as much as I could, and I was really happy with my progress. So I hope you're doing well. It's a rainy, cloudy day here, so it's a perfect day for staying in and stitching. I hope you're well, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone.